Sure. Welcome to Shipbreakers, Stars Without Numbers Revised, Episode 2. You know, if I open the channel for intro music, I should probably actually play music, is all I'm saying. That's on me, guys. We'll have our break music. Any big announcements we need to go through here? Anyone got any projects or anything? Okay.
I'm enjoying James's Blood Bowl stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say,
a
I'm
lot
in
of fun.
James's Blood Bowl series at youtube.com/grimdarkpodcast.
And once I get situated with this semester, I'm looking at possibly starting doing some uploads.
This guy doing some uploads. Okay. This is a guy who runs like 14-hour games with like 11 people. So I'd be like, I'm going to do some uploads, and I'm going to be like, you've released 40 hours of content this week.
I think I have 64 hours of a completed campaign on my hard drive. I'm figuring out how I want to edit.
That's just 2 sessions.
Editing.
Yeah. Because I mean, you're right. They're very long. I don't think anybody wants to sit down and deal with like a 11-hour video. So
you just have to do the SpongeBob's later that evening.
Okay. In the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, everything is black, and then text fades in that says 0301 until scream. Then the 1 becomes a 0, 259. We see the MINERVA, a scout cruiser hanging in space. Around you are other white and gold painted ships of the Imago Dei. Information channels are passed between you. There's no need for video input. It's totally unnecessary for brains such as yourselves. That said, not only is audio passed, but also a much larger data channel for emotional context is passed. So to visualize that for our human brains, each of the ships, when they speak, we see waves radiate off them to be like, hey, I'm the one talking. And the wave color will indicate what emotion they're trying to convey. So a fleet battle cruiser with waves of very slow and steady moving gold and silver coming off of it says, all of the refugees have been moved to a transport cruiser. We're going to need to have somebody escort them to the jump gating system. And then like a smaller science vessel, a little more than a shuttle at best, has green and blue, very fast pulsating waves say, from what I can tell, I believe I have some sort of classification for these creatures. Germanestis plagus. The locals call them the germies. They appear to be some sort of hive mind that incorporates itself into the cellular structures of various beings, but they themselves are not carbon-based life forms. I believe that they exist inside of germanium, a key component into making spike drives. And like this science shuttle is clear, it will go on forever talking about this, and like slowly sailing right next to the MINERVA is just like a shadow falls over MINERVA, and the shadow stays there for like 10 seconds, and then the front prow of a flat-decked fleet carrier with like 20 drone fighters on the top of it shows up, and with like slow but sharply jagged red waves coming off says, yes, of course, Copernicus, of course. I'm sure we can get all of those details. We need to just decide who is going to escort these civilians back to the jump gate, back to the mandate and safety. MINERVA, I think we're going to have to detach you from this combat fleet. Are you up for such a mission? Okay, yes, good.
Of course.
They transmit to you. They've already pre-calculated the jump for you, and they just like send you where you'll need, like you'll have to turn around and then spike drive and you're going to fly Manta, which means all the civilian ships, the refugee ships, are going to huddle themselves as close to you as possible to get in your drill field, fly in formation for the next 6 days.
All right.
As everyone is forming up, the bottom left-hand corner says, like, time until scream, 10, 9,
Oh boy.
8. And your ship begins powering up for the jump, and you see one of the ships begins, like, immediately. It's like a long ship built around, like, a torpedo tube. So, like, the spine is a torpedo. It just thrusters, pivots, points toward the planet, and it says, I'm picking something up. Is it coming off the... And then time till scream, 0. As MINERVA makes the jump, all the civilian ships bounce off of your ship as you metadimensionally sail. And, you would normally, like, either not move or, like, move slightly forward. You, like a leaf on the wind, are thrown at an insane distance. And the bottom left-hand corner just says 0, 0, 0. The screen goes to black, and it says time to arrival. Vostro station, 0. LAS Golden Goose on approach. This is Vostro 1 control. Coming back to 3-1.
Prior to arrival.
Secondary comm array is being worked on. At orbit for Dock 15, tracking online automatic. Adam Vostro, sensor compliments. Okay, now you're good.
All right,
Wait, was that the name I thought it was?
The Vostro one, Madam Vostro? Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so prior to arrival, I would like to flash back to, like, just shortly after departure.
Sure.
And,
you are out of focus. Nope, never mind.
I'll be
You're
back.
good.
There I am. So just shortly after departure, you hear Quentin come over the intercom, and he announces, we've got a departure debrief scheduled. Let's all get together in the common room, and invites everybody to a ship meeting.
As each of you arrives in turn, Lewis enters with 3 oranges on his head.
Oh, shit.
And he rolls each of them down his nose so that it stops directly in front of each of you, including MINERVA.
I feel like MINERVA, being not entirely socially aware right now, is, like, popped up on a hologram somewhere in the room while the armature is working on something.
So you still have an orange sitting in front of your hologram.
Just waiting.
Captain, I believe this is is this a gift I need to receive? Should I send a drone?
It's important to him that you at least acknowledge it. He just wants to provide for you.
I understand. I think, like, maybe 30 seconds later, MINERVA's body comes in and receives receives the orange.
So Lewis is what we call him when we're mad at him, but Louis is his
Louis is when he's being sweet. Yeah.
Louis, I appreciate this gesture right here. I'm going to get you something nice on the next planet we drop on the next space station, because, I can't remember the last time I got a gift like this. You do have a big heart there, Louis.
You said his name multiple times, so he moves to sit next to you. Now, it should be noted, he is tall enough that he basically is at table height, both when he is standing and sitting. So it's perfect for you to just rest your hand on his head and just give him some head scratch.
Right, Louis.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
and I pet him like I imagine a normal person would, and I kind of want to see what MINERVA's reaction is after, based off the bookshop incident.
MINERVA's observing.
Okay. Well, y'all, we just got done with our first official job with the Goose. I think it went all right. We had a little bit of trouble at the end. Thank you, Van-Vee, for taking care of that.
It was a lucky shot. I still wish that didn't, that didn't happen, but oh well. We got the payday
about
right?
it, but we got through it. Yeah,
it was an unfortunate loss.
It's a good way to put it.
Exactly. Nobody wants it. So let's go over the numbers, though. Hey, quick transition. First of all, supplies, we are fully stocked up. That means that with our current usage rate, we have 112 days remaining of flight time, taking care of all of us. Fuel-wise, we've got 2 jumps loaded up, ready to go. And cargo wise, we have nothing. And I just we'll circle back to this. That does concern me. I feel like we might need to address that. Next up, our current runway. We got paid 30,000 for our first job here. We've got 20,000 advance for our salvage job that's coming up. That puts us at 47,000 total in the bank, and we've got 2.28 months of runway at our current debt and maintenance fees. Important information, keep it in mind. All right. Well, that covers the numbers. And what about the jobs? We picked up a couple jobs here. So we've got a delivery job that, well, at least at first sounded like a delivery job. Things got a little weird here. We got some extra information, and it sounds like we need to acquire this thing first before we can deliver it. So, I'm not sure how that's going to go. It sounds like this might be a little sketchy. Question
We'll get
to
it done,
y'all.
Captain. Don't worry.
Well, let's at least look into it. But the question will come up: should we walk away? The terms of the job did change after we accepted it, so I feel like we've got some ground to stand on as far as that goes. And who is Supreme Master Jace Bronwyn? This is on me. I didn't look into this prior to it. I think one of us probably should check this guy out, see what the motivations might be.
I would like to just start using my split processing to have another instance of myself start trying to see what I can learn about this guy.
Yeah,
Perfect.
I'll take connect, administer, or no. And they will give you different things depending on. I would also,
Connect,
I think, maybe
administer, or
accept
no.
work.
Hmm.
And you know
What about
what?
hacking, like looking
I was
through the
gonna
internet or something?
say, actually,
Programming.
programming will also help you here. It will get you extremely limited specific data.
I will take very specific data over none.
Sure. An 11 programming.
I'd sift through some databases to see what specific stuff I can pull out.
There's only one database you need to sift through, and that is the local device driver manager of your shell.
Okay.
It was created by Supreme Master Jace Bronwyn. He is lead architect and programmer for your particular shell.
Someone we don't want to piss off.
He is a programmer and architect for robotics such as this.
Okay.
What do you gesture to when you say this, knowing your hologram's the one in the room?
It's like, no. So the hologram is staring at you interacting with Louis, and the armature whose focus is entirely on the captain gestures to the armature.
I like that. That's really funny. Well, shoot, that definitely does sound like somebody who might come in handy at some point. We might want to see what we can do to make this happen. The details on the beacon that we've got: within 100 meters, supposedly there's a unique EM signature that we'll be able to pick up. MINERVA, I don't know if maybe you can do that from here. It's on the moon of Midipile, specifically Risti Sumalin. I don't know if you can get some of that data, maybe get access to some local sensors, weather sensors, something to try to pick up this EM signature. Otherwise, we've got our sensor package. Maybe we get in orbit, we can find it.
Right. Is the signal we were given something that is detectable by our sensors?
From here now, no. I mean, if you pulled the ship to within 100 meters, yes.
Oh, okay.
But
well, I thought with the extra sensor package we have, we might be able to get a general zone.
I actually will buy
narrow
that.
it down.
Absolutely. Go ahead and you tell me what skill you think you would use. You get a +2, I believe, when you use your additional sensor package.
Well, program does specifically state that it is for utilizing other hardware, like hardware on ships.
I'm not sure I'd buy that, but I will take operate communications tech for sure.
Yeah, I think the comm station uses program.
That's program. Yeah, is communications, which is sensors. So yes, I'll buy that.
Okay.
I just you probably won't be able to use program for everything on this ship.
No.
What am I looking at here? A 13?
Wow.
Damn.
Okay.
Killing
well, yes, you identify on Risti Suleiman. There is a so the moon is tidally locked to the planet, so it's always the same side is always facing towards it. And there is a moon base dead center pointed towards the planet called Elizabeth Schuler Habitable Regeneration and Geriatric Welfare Starbase.
All right.
No, we're not done yet. That you could have got that information without a roll. It's got a main hab dome that's double hulled, so like a huge massive glass dome, and then there's a less like hexagonal plating, typical, like what I'm talking about, right? Then there is a more transparent, heavily armored secondary dome that goes on top of it that doesn't have like any hex plating or like reinforced, but prevents like minor meteorites from scratching the windows. And is to protect everyone inside. You identify the district within one of the side bases coming off of that dome that the signal is coming from. It is definitely coming from a very small space tourism district on Elizabeth Schuler base.
Interesting.
I think the hologram will change to a hologram of the station, and it'll just sort of have like the blinking light. I can't give you a precise location, but I can tell you that it's going to be somewhere here.
They get a 13.
Minerva, I don't know what we would be doing without you. This is fantastic. Expediting the situation.
You do possess quite nice sensors. They feel good.
Excellent. Not too fuzzy.
Is the station quantum ECM shielded?
Yes. It's an official government facility.
If you wish for my continued assistance with the sensors, I will not be able to depart the ship in the armature and maintain sensor data.
Okay. That's good.
But I could communicate with you from the ship to let you know if it's in motion.
Fantastic. Yeah, definitely keep an eye on it. We want to know if that's moving. Obviously we've got a little bit of time before we're going to be able to get there. Just to double check, AP, it is like another 2-day travel to get to the moon from where we're at, or 6 hours. Okay, cool. We're within system or whatever, or region. That's the term.
The Vostro is also in orbit of the planet and the moon.
Right. Awesome. And the other job we got, our salvage crew, it's for the Kalanam restoration. A little bit that I know about them is that they're pretty fresh. They got themselves a ship pretty recently. They've overthrown a government. This is the little bit that I know. But it seems like they're going to be desperate for the salvage that we can provide. So I'm just saying, I think we can definitely get some good value out of them.
Remind me again, Captain, how is it we're getting to Palamides?
I'm so glad that you asked. So I have taken a look at our course and what I think we can do. We have to go for this delivery job for Supreme Master Jace Bronwyn to get to, I believe it is 0504. Is it?
Oh, no, sorry. Yeah, you're right. It's 2 jumps, 0504. Yep.
That is the Lemmy Triad system. No worries. So to get there, we're going to have to jump through 0605, the Melitavor system. And there's some planets there. There's a station. Well, sorry, there's one planet there and there's a station there. So all I'm saying is we're going to be hitting some stops along the way. We hit 0605, we hit 0504, and then we jump over to 0503 Giota Mankira. And that's where I think we catch a ride. There's a planet over there, Daphilo, that I think is going to have a ship that we can contract to get us the next jump that we have to go.
I see. That sounds like a plan to me, sir.
I don't know. Maybe I don't know these things.
I was just wondering if, depending on our timetable here, I was just thinking we got a tip about the treasure map on Omara 9 in 0404. I don't know. Carlita owns us a favor. Carlita Sinesta. Maybe he could get us the invite. You just said we're kind of flush with cash right now. That could get us the auction start. I feel like we're in a pretty good position to actually take action on that now. And it's kind of on our way.
I'm open to it. Minerva, thoughts?
I have two thoughts. First is there a discussion to be had about the disposition of earned funds in regards to my project?
Absolutely. Right now, we did a single distribution, 1,000 apiece, right? After we completed our last job. Anytime we do a distribution, we will all take equal shares of that distribution. And right now, it's all sitting in the current corporation account. So basically, yeah, at any point, we can discuss making a distribution from that account for however much you think is relevant at the time. And we'll just be a little bit conservative to make sure we have enough funds to cover our needs.
I understand.
Something we didn't mention last time, Minerva, but I don't know if you've done any digging into my family's history, but my family here in Midpile, they're kind of a big name in the mining industry, providing parts for ships. I'm going to bring it up and see if I can get us a connection, not just for, say, the spike drive you're looking for, but several components. Maybe set up some sort of transaction where, hey, family discount moving forward, something like that. It will probably be comes with an IOU perpetually, but depending how steep that discount is, might be worth something looking into to help rebuild your ship.
That was my other concern. Was I understand that the both of you had offered to make some assistance, and I was curious if we were to do those before we left.
That is my intention.
I mean, otherwise, the other propositions that you have made, I have no particular objections with.
What's the most short-term thing you're looking to acquire?
The most significant required component will be a rebuild or replacement of my spike drive.
Yeah, I think that's long-term for sure, but that's
that is
money-wise.
Awfully big ask.
It is.
We will get there.
As far as the prioritizations, though, any other types of restorations won't provide a return of group investment until it can leave the system.
Absolutely.
Now, of course, if there are other leads in order to effect repairs to other systems, then I think, of course, I would be interested in them.
Yeah.
But in order to meet our agreed upon deal, the ship will not be of any use to the two of you until I have replaced my spike drive.
Absolutely. I think, step one, we need to make sure we get the context. We talked to Emai last time, our Fananas Fleet Shipyards contact. She said that she could maybe set us up with some suppliers that would help out there. We probably need to reach back out and, think about it from the salvage operation perspective. Let her know that it's related to us needing to build our network of suppliers who might be interested in parts that we might pull in, that kind of thing. I think those suppliers are the folks that we ultimately need contact with, because they're going to be able to find you the things you need. And then we're going to be able to find out how much that's even going to cost, because it is out there. That is technology I don't even know if anybody knows how to make.
I am making efforts to learn this new economic point of view.
This barbarian level of technology you guys live in.
Y'all should see home. You have no idea.
I would love to see your home.
Yeah.
Sounds like you don't want to see your home, Captain.
It's just that when I go back, I feel like I need to go back big, because that's probably the easiest way that I don't wind up stuck. But, we'll talk about that another time.
I guess I just have one open question, Captain. What were your thoughts on asking Carlita Sonesta for that favor to see if he could get us that invite on Omura 9?
You know what? If that's the favor we want to use it for, I think that's reasonable. I don't see us needing as many get out of jail free cards as we might fear, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what we get up to. But I think that might be worth the favor. What was remind me again, what was the prize of this auction? A treasure map.
Yes, but who knows we don't know where that map leads to, but heck, we didn't know what would happen on the other side of, hold on, Moon by Space Station, not Amira 9, the other one. Hold on.
Are you talking about 404?
Yes. Talon 3.
We found you.
Yeah, basically. We didn't know what was going to happen when we found you. So
you know me. I like to gamble, and I'm happy to come up big. So let's, Minerva, if you're comfortable with us putting up that amount of cash and not reserving, more of a chunk so that we can keep that bankroll for your spike drive. If you're comfortable on this gamble, we might get a lot closer to your goal a lot quicker.
I understand the concept of taking risks for high returns.
I just want to be clear, sir. The auction starts at 20,000. That may not be enough to win the map.
And that's the other part. We start with 20,000. We've got like 20 more that we can go without a lot of terror on my part.
I'll be honest, sir. Part of me just wants to ask Carlita just to see his reaction.
All right. Well, let's hold this one in our pocket. I think that it's something that we can try to do as we swing by. And let's see how we're feeling when we leave the system here.
Much appreciated, sir.
No problem. Well, that's all I've got in terms of our short-term schedule. Van-Vee, the trade, though, this empty cargo hold that is bothering me. We've got a trail of places to visit, and each one of those places seems like it's going to have needs, especially coming from here in Midipile. They're manufacturing all sorts of cool stuff. So maybe as we visit your family's compound with some of their contacts, I don't know. I don't want to impose. I know things are weird, but if we can get some stuff to unload and make that little bit of extra cash, that makes that auction a lot more likely.
Sir, I am glad you asked that, because I was thinking I have quite a few asks for my family, and I was not quite sure what in turn we could offer them. So I was thinking perhaps we offer them transport for anything they need going off world to where we're going at a discounted rate. Or maybe if our cargo hold is really empty, heck, maybe even for free, just to keep the relationship good and make sure we got that good relationship going with the leaning mining manufacturer site.
You believe a continued positive relationship with your family would be dependent upon favor and services?
Well, yeah.
I see. Interesting.
I will know a lot more by the end of this session.
Look, if you think that buying some goodwill is worth it, then I'm open to it as well. I think that is absolutely the right calculus.
Perhaps I should open with our first shipment, will be on the house as a show of, good
first mover
intentions.
Advantage. Let them set the cost first. Negotiations are tough.
We'll see if they have any work for us, because we have quite a few asks, and I'm just trying to think what we can offer in return.
Exactly. Well, I like that. That sounds good to me. That's all I need from you. Perfect.
Sounds good.
Well,
sir.
that concludes the departure debrief, unless there's any other points you would like to bring up.
At this point, my hand is very tired.
To round things out, to end the meeting, I would like to end us on a copy max meditation.
I'm sorry. Say what, sir?
When you say that, Louis turns to look up at you.
He gets in position. Now, everybody take a seat on the floor and just reach out. Place one hand on your heart and one hand on Louis. Close your eyes.
Okay, for Louis, I guess.
The armature gets down, and there's this awkward, staring at hand, like, where, Captain, I'm not sure where you wish for me to place my hand.
Don't worry. Right on Lewis, anywhere that you can feel his breathing. And Minerva, go ahead and maybe turn off your visual sensors. And V, shut your eyes.
I feel like while this is happening, I feel like while this is happening and the armature is following instructions, one of the other drones just walks through the room and is doing something else
and walks right through the hologram.
Perfect. And breathe and match Louis's breathing. Slow yours to match his. Minerva, try syncing your clock speed to a multiple of his breathing. In through the nose, hold, and release. Continue. Contemplate your place in the universe, on your mat, in this common area, in or are this ship hurtling through space, a speck in the vast sea of stars, and a spark of consciousness in the void. Stretch yourself and walk back. You're a spark, a speck, a ship, a room, and finally a life, fragile and precious and beautiful. And release. And yeah, Louis is there, snuffling in your faces.
Say Louis. They're in a sleep.
I want to say, Ludemann, until this moment, I thought you were an amazing project manager, but now I realize you're a horrifying boss.
Let's
have some meditations real quick, okay, guys?
I've never done this in a meeting. I just want to be clear.
I don't believe you.
It was good. I feel like
couldn't-
this has to have been done to you. Yeah.
I've had moments like this, yes.
I feel like Minerva just hit her short-term goal of another culture experience.
That's not my current
Is that my short-term goal of bonding y'all with Louis more?
Oh, that's a ego.
So we exit the past and return to the present, which is a docking arm grabbing your ship, pulling it onto the dock. Now, Vostro Station is a center point for a mining fleet. So when you exit your ship, you'll have to be in suits because you're just going to be walking through open space. But as the three of you make your way in your spacesuits, you see that another ship has pulled in next to you, and 5 workers in blue suits step out of the Blair Mountain. They look exhausted and tired, and they're all like ribbing each other locally. And 100 people are coming from the other direction, and you could see that like one of them is like, move. You like can't hear him, but he's like making frantic arm gesture, and all 100 of them are pushing past the people in the blue and entering into the Blair Mountain.
Picturing someone rounding third and saying, "Go home, go."
Is
So
this
these two
is
groups
the
go past
station
each other.
is the station ECM shielded?
This station is not ECM shielded.
It's gonna be a consistent question.
Can I do? Well, I mean, it matters when I get off the ship. Could I do from the ship sensors just a quick scan to see if there's any like unusual energy signatures, like venting atmosphere or a power source problem or something?
Okay.
Just some like general signs of maybe an emergency on
This
the
isn't
station.
an emergency. You detect that the Blair Mountain is a FPRS Continental class factory ship, and so its job is the miners go out and mine, and then once the mining is done, the mining team lands the ship. There isn't enough space on the ship to habitate 100 people to work the factory on board. So they take the mining crew off, let them rest. They bring the construction crew on, who then use the workshop on board to fabricate things. Then they take everything off. The mining crew gets back on. The ship leaves. This is considered to be the best compromise, rather than making enormous space factories that have to be habitated, but then the crews are just sitting around all day waiting for mining ships to show up. Instead, everyone's always rotating on or off a ship. Yeah, you look for signs of emergency, and you're like, nope, no emergency here. You know what's going on.
Okay, I'll say nothing and continue to follow the captain.
Before I get, I'm assuming I would have done this before we landed on Vostro Station. I would have replied to the message just to say, "See you soon" or something like that.
Sure. As you enter into the air, I'm not going to do another set of the airlock things, but it goes exactly like that's a standard issue airlock. The airlock invites you onto a fully decontaminated Vostro 1. When the airlock door opens, there is a woman wearing a butler's tuxedo standing in front of you. She has 3 hot towels for your face and says, Master Vostro, welcome. I assume you'll want to see your family as soon as possible?
Yes. If it's convenient, and you notice like the twang from my voice is gone.
Ah, yes.
And he like suddenly talks a bit more like highbrow. Uses big words, stuff like that.
Quentin grabs a towel and he's like warming himself, like, oh my God, yes.
I'll watch the captain do that, and I will mimic his behavior after taking off my spacesuit helmet.
Meanwhile, Van-Vee's like dabbing very gently.
The madam and your siblings are on board the station, and I believe your father will be arriving later this afternoon.
Most excellent. I cannot wait to regroup with all of them.
Would you like to take the priority elevator up to the residence, or is there some other location I can take you to first?
Well, if priority is available, why not make use of it?
Oh, right this way, sir. So you can see that there is a series of elevators that not only go up and down, but like once it reaches a floor, it'll also go, laterally X and Y as well as Z. It's a Banner G class. It's 10,000 person station. It's pretty much the smallest station that you can still call a station. 10,000 person residence is a lot of people. It's very big, even for a small station. So you are led around to like a red, carpeted, roped off priority tube. And the concierge like gestures for you to get in and like steps in, like presses a button and then steps out and says, gentlemen, lady, welcome to Vostro 1, as the doors shut.
Very polite.
I do believe I have recently acquired some music that could make use of this space, this transit time. I'll share some with the madam.
Has like Van-Vee dressed up for this? Like, what's the dress code?
So, like I said, that's true. The audience doesn't know my visual description I gave Brad, right? So,
yeah.
So here's my question: are you taking your spacesuit, or did you take it off in the airlock?
In the airlock, yeah.
Okay, then yeah,
I threw on the. So Van-Vee basically has 2 looks. One is with his overcoat jacket on that makes him look like he's dressed for the occasion. And then when he's doing anything like meaningful in the ship, he takes the jacket off and he's just got like sleeves rolled, buttoned on buttons, the what's it called? The shoulder harness with two pistol or 1 pistol, I guess, just showing. And then like worker pants, but the jacket covers all of that. And so whenever he needs to be fancy, he just throws the jacket on.
I have it on good authority that men who roll up their sleeves are sluts. You're just looking slutty right now. Ladies, he's already married.
Oh man, 3 for 3. That's funny.
You arrive several minutes later at what you think may be, if not the top, then one of the tallest, highest levels of this station, which is pointed. So, like, the top of the station is pointed towards the planet. So you can see it slowly rotating beneath you. As you look up, in front of the residence is something like a bodyguard who's got like a sensor wand with him, and he says, will all of you submit to a optional scan before entering the residence?
Minerva just looks at Van-Vee for direction.
I think I can willingly identify the objects you're looking for, and I'll just take off my last pistol and monoblade. The only 2 weapons I have.
No reason for you, sir.
I still do the like elaborate gestures just so that I'm showing that the weapons is what they're looking for the other 2.
Yeah, I mean, Quentin will allow it. He's not trying to sneak anything specifically, and he's just confused or like a little.
Quentin, something happens to you immediately.
Oh, shoot.
You are a level 0 metapsionicist, right?
Mm-hmm.
He is using a psionic power on you.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah. Do I like? I would resist it but sort of by default.
Okay.
What does resisting look like? Like, are you like grabbing your head in pain or something, or is it just like a passive thing? No,
Is this a steely-eyed stare into each other's eyes?
I feel like this is like one of those silent battles. They squint at each other.
Make a mental saving throw.
Mental. Where's that? On the sheet. Oh, there it is. Duh.
I don't know if you have any meta psionic powers that might help you with this. They get all sorts.
Meta Scion does like give you a bonus to. Yeah, it's not.
You have a +2 to it, but you rolled a 1, so you're not going anywhere on that.
That's fair.
A 14.
Yeah, it's like instinctive, but he fails terribly because he's not ready for that.
Let's see. Can you tell what power it is? You visually and audibly can detect the use of psychic powers. You can tell who is using the power. Do you have a power that allows you to detect what power it is?
Not yet. No, that comes later. I'm pretty sure.
Do you have mind tracing?
I do not.
Okay. You don't know what type of power he's using on you. He gives you a look and says, "You're resisting me. You're alarmed."
It was unexpected. Optional scan. I assumed you meant a scan, not a scan.
Quentin,
it's been a while since.
You are aware that if this guy scans MINERVA, he is going to identify her as a synthetic life form immediately.
This is a lot more invasive than I was expecting. You really need to be upfront with that. I'm actually a little offended.
Does my presence not also vouch for these two that come with me?
It's an optional scan that he agreed verbally to submit to, sir. You were offended. My apologies.
Where were you trained?
I mean, there's no, where he was trained.
Yeah. What's your name?
Leading Academy, sir. The name is Giles Gillerby.
All right, I'll be looking you up later.
He gives you a look like, you'll what?
Yeah, well, so from Quentin's perspective, right, the Psionic Academy is very much so about the like morality of psychic power usage, right? And the feeling here is that he was not properly informed of the invasiveness of said scan, right, and nature of it. So
that's true.
That
on Lita, this would not be appropriate. That's correct. Yeah. But you're not on Lita.
Mr. Gillerby, I appreciate what you're doing, but I assure you, there is no concerns and no threats coming in with myself and my two compatriots here. The person of which you are speaking is my captain, and I will surely vouch for him on this space station. I will be sure to let the madam know that you have done your job, and an excellent job at it you have done.
He turns to look at you, MINERVA, like nonplussed by this situation. Just checking to see whether you'll submit to an optional scan. But in the process, he is also waving a baton over Quentin. I assume you do actually have weapons on you and such.
Yeah, I have same thing, like monoblade and a revolver.
So it looks like the back of this thing, whenever it detects something, a holographic screen comes out and like does a 3D wireframe of the object, and he's just like, oh, okay.
Oh, we need that TSA.
I mean, Minerva's just going to look over at Van-Vee and say, if you are vouching for the safety of my presence here, I don't understand why we would need to take the time. If there are no weapons permitted, then I will relinquish my weapon.
It's optional, Minerva. Well, why don't we just head on in? And I'll even like grab Minerva like by the around the shoulder and say, let's just head on in.
Yeah, he opens the door for you. This entry level, the whole level is just the family room. Like 3,000 or 4,000 square feet of the walls in every direction are smart glass that's showing like the temperature and humidity of the planet in the direction that's pointed, towards the planet, and then like it darkens in the direction of the sun, and the part of it that's pointed towards the moon, Risti Sumalin, has like current stats of like ships in transit to and from, and like when you look around, you can see it's like identifying where the mining fleet for the Vostro constructions is in every direction. Your brother and sister are like on the couch playing something like a game with cartoonish racer characters with mushrooms involved, and your mother is waiting at the counter with like 3 cups of hot steaming something. Your mother looks, I mean, listen, it's your mom, so this is the only mom you've really known, right? You have a very brief memory. So you don't feel any sort of, you know, like weird attraction to her, but for Quentin and maybe Minerva, she's like a very beautiful woman. She might be dressing down with like a sweatshirt and yoga pants, and the sweatshirt says New Aflac Institute of Science. But she's like Indian subcontinent, somewhere from there, something like a medium tan and a little olive, dark black hair. She smiles, perfect white teeth. Your brother looks almost exactly like you now. And your sister just looks kind of awkward, teenager, still growing into herself. But, you know, everybody's like, you know, they say Van-Vee is here, right? And your mom just says, okay, everyone, let's just... Vandorn, welcome home. Captain? Specialist?
Ma'am?
I think I would still be overly formal and call him Madame Vostros. It has been some time, and then I'd say that and bow, but then I'd give her a hug.
Okay. Quentin and Minerva, you notice it because Van-Vee can't because he's hugging her. Something inside of her broke very sadly when he called her Madam rather than Mom.
I think there's a not particularly well hidden, because it's an intentional, subtle, like sympathetic look from Minerva, sort of like a, oh, you know, like just sort of acknowledging her, but not saying anything.
Can I get you anything? Food, drink?
Well, first, let me get a look at these two over here, and I'll.
Your brother comes over and like puts you in a hug and like lifts you up, and he's just like, "You see the latest blast ball, bro?"
Zach, man, you've gotten big. And which match? Tell me which one you were watching. I haven't caught up entirely.
Yeah, he just starts going into a match between the Thor Sluggers and the Aussie Invaders.
I immediately start saying why you should bet on the Thor Sluggers and go into like the over unders.
He does not get any of that. He's just talking about the players. He's a teenager. You're talking about sports betting.
Yeah, well, that's my shtick, trying to help him out.
He's like,
and then after that, I realized, oh wait, I haven't said hi to Allie yet. Yeah.
Like before you can go, he like intercepts you from, you know, like he does a little like blast ball moves with you, and then he's like, hey, listen, man, if you have any spaces on your crew, I'm turning 18 soon, okay? You know, Dad wants me to be ready to lead the mining fleet, but I want to get out there. I want to see space. I want to be like you, man. Before I sit in a admiral's chair, I want to be knowing how to run the ships.
Listen, if Dad and Mom, and I say it because he said it first.
It's killing her. It's killing her.
If Dad and Mom approve, I mean, hey, sure. I mean, you know the terms I left on, so let's make sure you're following the right steps.
Yeah, Sophie's just like, we'll talk about this later privately, you and I.
Like, I in the back of Van-Vee's mind, he knows there's no way Sophie would approve of this. So,
Allie does not stand up to greet you, but seems to welcome you to sit next to her.
All right. And while she's doing that, Sophie, the mom, was offering something at the same time.
Yeah, if you guys want any food or drink or entertainment, you've been on a spaceship for a long time. And they are hosts of great wealth and taste here.
I think I'd go to Allie first. I'd make sure to introduce Zach and Allie to both Minerva and Quentin, just so everyone knows everyone and everyone's comfortable.
Quentin would have like some small little gift, like appropriate to each of them. Maybe like a little like stuffed capybara for Allie, or like
Yeah. Zach's going to come forward and give you a clumsy attempt at a firm handshake. He spends his time looking at the handshake to make sure he's doing it right rather than making eye contact with you.
You're going to say he gives a signed waiver for I'll join.
He also gives a firm handshake to you, Minerva, but same mistake. Spends the whole time looking at the hand.
Minerva will receive it in a very comfortable manner and make sure to have a weaker grip than he does.
Okay. It's not terribly difficult. He grew up in space. He is not super strong, unfortunately, for him. Allie will not rise to greet Quentin and Minerva. She just wants to sit quietly with you, Van-Vee, for a minute. You could tell that there's definitely a storm of emotions going on here. It's been a long time since you've seen or talked to your sister, and she looks something like proud, but also hurt and somewhat distant.
Quentin will say to I forget Sophie, I believe.
Sophie, yeah.
And ma'am, you have a beautiful home, and
Thank
just
you
sort of
so
like
much.
Set up the opportunity for her to offer a tour or something, and give Van-Vee a moment to like
reading the situation.
Yeah.
I think seeing that Quentin is trying to like take one, Minerva's going to start asking questions to his brother.
Okay.
I mean, he made a whole big thing about he talked really loud about blast ball, but yeah, she's going to be like, I have not been introduced to this blast ball. Are you familiar with the rules then?
Oh my God. All right. Yeah.
So that, we're pulling them away so he can have,
he will pull you away to Dad's prized blast ball artifacts collection of the famous blast ball from the 87 championship, right? Signed posters, pictures of times he's met blast ball captains. Quentin, you're taken to another level to look over shipping concerns. She has intuited that you want to leave Vandorn alone, and she is approving of that. And you have a ship with an empty cargo hold. You landed at her station. She knows what you got, so she takes you upstairs to look at cargo opportunity jobs with you.
Okay.
Minerva is recording, but otherwise asking appropriate questions and laughing at giving laughs at intervals, even though this is not relevant to her as a ship. So she's just playing her part with her off-ship persona.
Interpret, you play a sport that could kill you for fun? That doesn't make any sense.
That sounds so dangerous. You must be brave to be interested in this kind of thing.
Allie, as soon as the room is empty, Allie begins crying and puts her head on your shoulder to cry onto you, while also weakly punching you in the stomach. And that's where we're going to take a break. We're at that time, but yeah, we'll be back for the second half. In like 5 minutes. Stick around, guys.
The family reunion.
Yeah, the family reunion. It's going so well so far. No one's dead.
Ooh, wow.